Okay, so good morning, everyone. I am Sophie, and I will talk to you a little bit today about the summer schools that we organized within for the project. So together with my colleague Anne, we're from Hasselt University in Belgium. And as we just mentioned, we also organized together with the University of Maastricht one of the two summer schools. So as Paul mentioned, two summer schools were organized within of the project. The first one was in Zagreb, Croatia in July 2023, and the next one was in Hasselt, Belgium in July the year afterwards. So here you can see two pictures, one taken, I think, at the Vichy Lakes, if I'm correct, the left one, and the right one is, somewhere in Belgium near previous mining site. We also took a visit to the people from together with the students, but I will talk about that a little bit more later. So I'll start with an explanation on the first summer school. So this was the summer school in Zagreb, Croatia. And the title of the summer school was New Technologies and Approaches, Impacts on Humans and Ecosystems. So this summer school was embedded into work package 4 of the project. As I mentioned, took place in July 2023, and it lasted 12 days. And it was organized by the INI Institute, by Mafo and Rohan, together with the Croatian Society of Toxicology. In that summer school, we had 32 participants. Participants came from all ToxLearn member institutes. So you can also see them in blue here on this map on the right side. And there was quite a varied distribution of students, let's say. So we had 19 PhD students, 9 master's students, and also 4 bachelor students. And what was very nice was also that the students were coming from different backgrounds. So and students focusing on biology, others in chemistry, but also informatics and environmental sciences. And then we also had 25 lecturers. Some of them were, of course, members from the participating institutions and the projects, but there were also other people, so members of the Croatian Society of Toxicology and experts from different European institutes and universities. So we had very broad expertise covered in that way. As the title already implied, the main objective of the summer school was to cover new approaches, methodologies, and models in order to meet the standards and needs of different target groups, so higher education institutions. The summer school had different learning outcomes. First of all, working in an English-speaking environment is evident for all students participating. So for some it might be more difficult than others. What was also very nice is that the students got to work in international teams. Another goal was, of course, to have a global vision on problems related to environmental. Also to learn how to use and apply new approaches, methodologies, and models. And also to master approaches and toxicology as well as ecotoxicology to evaluate risks to humans, but also to the environment. So the program consisted of different topics, let's say. So we had several interactive lectures. So you can see a small group of lectures, and I mentioned there were more. We also included problem-based learning, which was a lot yesterday, and there were also some field trips and visits. And at the end of the summer school, the students presented the work they did during PBL sessions. So here you can see an overview of the interactive lectures that were organized. So I tried to put them in 2 main categories. So there were several lectures on pollutants. So there were lectures on radioactive compounds, persistent organic pollutants, essential and toxic elements, pollutants in water, also air pollution was covered, and also VTEC, so volatile organic compounds. And then, of course, we also covered a lot of different technologies. There was a focus on study design, also statistics, analytical chemistry, also methods like the common assay, micronucleus assay to look at DNA damage. There were lectures on flow cytometry, on oxidative stress-related analysis. These were also specifically for flow cytometry and the oxidative stress, both on human and animal systems, but also plants, or more ecotoxicology parts. There were also lectures on machine learning and computational toxicology, on embedded and feasible 3D models, and also risk assessment. Then, as I mentioned, there was also PBL. So what the students did was they performed a case study that was very relevant for the summer school in Croatia, as it covered a problem really local, let's say, related to the national park, the Beachy Lakes that you can see on the right, related to its UNESCO World Heritage table, let's say. So the issue there was that there is increased water and air pollution as a consequence of mass tourism that's occurring there. And what the students could obtain were concentrations or levels of different types of pollutants at different sites. So there were 3 monitoring sites and also 1 reference site out of the national park. And what was very nice is that the students had to be they had to think in advance which data they would need to solve their problem. So they got a virtual budget in euros that they could spend to obtain certain data, but they would not be able to get all the available data, let's say. So they had to think in advance which data you need, which ones are less important to us. And what was also very interesting is that the students were divided into different groups. I think there were 6 groups, and there were 2 groups working on each of these 3 topics. Some students represented a research institute, and their task was to report or generate reports describing the current situation of national parks. Other groups presented to act as the government. They had to make a rule book to preserve the national park status, and other ones represented UNESCO, and they had to develop criteria to evaluate the national park and government. And then they gave final presentations on this at the end. But this was also very nice because it also made students realize that perspectives on these issues can be very different depending. And then we also organized 2 field trips. So the first one was to the Beachy National Park, which is very beautiful, as you can see on the left. Unfortunately, I was not able to join because I was there the second week. But this was, of course, very nice for the students. Nice environment. I seemed to do, but at the same time, it was also very closely linked to the PBL that they were working on, so that was great. And then in the second week, the students also visited a wastewater treatment plant, which is of course also strongly linked to this pollution issues, also very relevant in context. And then to conclude the first summer school, at the end, a questionnaire was sent out to different participants, and they filled it out. And here I added some quotes from the students. So they said, for example, the atmosphere was great, the quality of the lectures was great. They found the program very well structured. The lectures were also interactive, given by experts in the field. So in general, students were very positive about the summer schools. You can also see this here. So 92% of the students found the summer school beneficial in terms of networking, and also for the large majority, the event that meets the expectations that the students had in the class. However, there were also some more critical remarks, let's say. So some students that a 2-week summer school might be a bit too long, so it would be better to make it shorter. And also some students indicated that the audience was too broad. So we thought it was nice that we could have PhD students, master students, also bachelor students. But yeah, of course, in terms of knowledge, the basic knowledge that they already have, this is quite different. And this might make it difficult to have lectures that fit all these levels. But these are then things that we also took into account when organizing the second summer. Then we also asked at the end which topics students would think would be interesting for the next summer school. And here different things were mentioned, like micro and nanoplastics, ecotoxicology, in vitro genotoxicity models, air pollution, risk assessment, also new methodologies, which were already largely covered here. But these are also things we try to take into account for the program of the second summers. And then the second summer school took place 1 year later in Hasselt, but organized together also with Roger and Sabine from State University. Here we had a slightly smaller group, so we had 23 participants, again from all doctoral member institutes. But this time we had one postdoc, 20 PhD students, one master's student, and one data scientist. So this time there were no bachelor students involved, and this also made it possible to have lectures that might be a little bit more complex. And again, we had students from different backgrounds, like in the previous summer school, which is also very interesting, of course, when students from different backgrounds can work together on these analysis. We then also had 19 lectures, again from project members and also experts from the university. The main objective of this summer school was to cover different topics related to risk assessment, and this was linked to work package 5 of the project, which will also be explained in more detail later. Again, the learning outcomes, some of them are the same. So again, students how to work in an English-speaking environment, work in an international team, have global vision problems related to environmental pollution. And then they also learned how to use online tools related to risk assessment and to master approaches and ecotoxicology and toxicology to evaluate risks for humans and the environment. So again, we had 50 hours of interactive lectures, 50 hours of program in total, and it again consisted of lectures, PBL, field trips and visits, and also a presentation at the end done by the students, which was assigned in the prep. So here you can see the lectures on different topics. Of course, the main topic of summer school was risk assessment. So a lot of the lectures were fit into this risk assessment framework. So there was an introduction on risk assessment, hazard characterization, new emerging hazards, dose response, exposure assessment, risk characterization, and so on. And at the end of the week, we also had some sessions regarding risk management and risk communication. We also had some lectures on different fields related to toxicology, so translational toxicology, epidemiology, toxicogenomics. There was also ability. There were again some lectures on emerging methods. So we had a lecture on new approach methodologies, so NUMS, and also first outcome pathways. And there were also usually in the afternoon some research lectures, which the same focused on radiation, air pollution, black carbon, mycotoxins, and also cultured proteins, all run by experts in the field. Then we again made use of this PBL concept. This time students worked on 2 case studies, but all students worked on only one, but we had 2 separate case studies. And in advance, prior to the summer school, students were divided in groups and they were told on which 2 case studies they would work. One of the case studies was developed by Roger. I already introduced it yesterday. It was on this air pollution in The Hague by Mr. Worried. And the other one was related to liquid discharge by a nuclear power plant. And in both case study students then received various data on different types of pollutants. And their goal was to perform a risk assessment and also to communicate their findings to the public. This was also very interesting. It was not just risk assessment itself, but then they learned that it's also important how you communicate this to an audience, because of course you also don't want people to start panicking. You still want to give them correct information. And then this work they did during these PBL sessions in the afternoons of the summer school. They then presented in press conference formats, as you can see here. So sitting on the road, it's all very official at the end of the press. Then we also did 3 field trips. The first one was to the Ecoton, which is a climate research facility linked to Hasselt University. So yeah, it consists of these different domes where we have light meters with different plant species. Also the soil is there, the microorganisms. So really different things related to climate change can be investigated there because climate conditions of the future can be mimicked. Then on another day, we basically combined 2 field trips in one. The first one was to an underground research lab for disposal of radioactive waste. It's called Hades, which is very nice. So I don't remember exactly how deep into the ground it is, but you have to take this cage elevator, go, I don't know, 200 meters or something, 400-ish. 200, yeah, quite far in the ground. And there they do experiments related to geological. How do you store it? Is it safe? Which materials were best and so on. So that we did before noon, and then in the afternoon we went to Vito, which is a Flemish research institute, and they have really state-of-the-art infrastructure for air pollution research. We got the opportunity to visit the labs there, which was very interesting, and then there were just some lectures by experts really working. And this was, of course, nice because it was also strong linked to the PBL, both in radioactivity and air pollution. Then afterwards, we can send out this survey to the students, and here I included some quotes. So students indicated that they really enjoyed the summer school and different activities. They found it a nice experience. They also indicated that the lectures were informative, done by experts in the field. And they also said that the help from the mentors was very good during the PBL work that they did. Some more critical comments were that the PBL case was challenging. I think this was especially the case for the PBL on radioactivity. The students had to use the tool, which they never used before. But in the end, also a lot of students said, like, yeah, in the beginning, I hated it. It was so difficult. But afterwards, they did really learn a lot from it. So that way, I do think we reached our goal there. And then they also indicated that some lectures were maybe a bit long without a break. But I can tell you that now for soon, these lectures will be available on the YouTube channel. So then if you think they're too long, you can just post them and make it break yourself. And again, the students were very positive. So they found the event very beneficial in terms of networking, and they that's expectation, which is very nice. And then to conclude, as Bertrand mentioned, so all the lectures during the summer schools were recorded and are available on the YouTube channel. I already put some articles here linking to the channel, but as Bertrand said, yeah, it's still work in progress, so there will still be subtitles added and so on. Yeah, I would say you can have a little bit still improve over the 20 months. And that was everything I wanted to tell about the summer school. So thank you for your attention, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if you.
There is some questions in the chat. So, in your experience, what was the best duration of the 2 weeks?
I actually think maybe somewhere in between. I was just discussing it on this morning. So 2 weeks was maybe a bit long for the students, although away from home for organization related to that. On the other hand, we put everything into 1 week, but unfortunately in Belgium, stores closed at 6. And now because we only had 1 week, the program was quite full and students only got to leave around 6. And then in the evening, yeah, they could explore the city still, but not the shops, for example. So we thought maybe it's nice to start it 1 week on a Tuesday, and then we finish it the week after on Wednesday or so. And then the students would also have a weekend in between to also see stuff.
Was any kind of evaluation at the end, like an exam or?
No, so it was just a presentation of these PBL cases, and I think all the students did a very good job. So in the end, they all received a certificate. So it's not like we had a very strict evaluation, but of course we did expect them to do these presentations and to actively work on the PBLs.
There is just a comment that it was a great idea to combine the summer school with field. So it was very good.
Yeah, I fully agree. So I think it was nice because they were in fun, yeah, in terms of the topic linked to what they were doing and yeah, we were seeing in the lectures, but still it was also, yeah, a bit of relaxation. For the students.